Hello and good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. My name is Mr. G. We're almost to Friday. We've almost made it through the work week. Thank you for joining me today as we talk about that weather forecast. And we got some wild weather to talk about today, especially across the Pacific Northwest. Our city of the day is in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington. This is the skyline. You can see more of the buildings behind me. There's a Space Needle right there, but as you can tell, look at those very gray skies out there overlooking Elliott Bay as we're looking at it very, very gray and wet. So we're seeing a lot of rainfall continuing to fall this morning across the Seattle metro area. So again, more heavy rainfall where we've been setting some rainfall records across the Pacific Northwest. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. But let's move on with the rest of the video and talk about the forecast across the rest of America, because we have another big storm to talk about across the eastern U.S. later this week as well. All right, everybody, let's talk about the rest of the weather forecast and what's going on across America. In our first map, let's deal with the storm system that will be developing across the eastern half of the United States over the weekend. But we're going to be seeing some uncertainty right now in the storm track and exactly the path that this storm is going to take, whether it's going to be more inland over the Great Lakes or over toward more to the east and tracking over the interior of the Northeast and along the St. Lawrence River. And we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. And we're going to see that severe weather likely down south. So East Texas down into Louisiana and Mississippi and through Arkansas is where we're going to see the severe weather potential with some very heavy rain, those damaging winds, and tornadoes are also going to be possible down across the south central U.S. as well. And we're going to see snow likely in the Great Lakes area. So again, but not the biggest snow event in the world, but we will see a few inches of snow break out across the Northeast and into the New England this weekend as well. So here we are to take a look at that storm system that's going to be developing here across the southeast. We can see that area of low pressure over Louisiana and Arkansas that's going to spread that severe weather on Saturday and shift a bit to the east on Sunday as we see our threat for severe weather. And there's our low pressure center developing on Saturday afternoon, and it's going to spread that severe weather down across the deep south and eventually along the eastern seaboard, but we will see heavy rain and snow spread into the northeast and the mid-Atlantic as well. Okay, so this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, here is our track of our storm that's going to shift to the east there over Georgia and the Carolinas before tracking toward the northeast up toward Maine and Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Canada by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. But it's going to spread that severe weather down across the south. Here we're going to see that severe weather down in the south and heavy rain along the coastal sections there up into New England and into the northern Atlantic area. But we're going to see that snow over the interior portions from West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and across Maine. So we're going to see that snow. And we're going to see a shot of snow over parts of Wisconsin, Michigan, and eastern Minnesota as well. We're going to see some fairly light snowfall accumulations over that area, but we'll see the heavier snowfall accumulations over the northeast and New England after this storm passes through that area. So, again, here's where we're going to be seeing those temperatures through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to see those temperatures in the 30s and 40s, and we're going to see those 40s in New England. But eventually that snow is going to spread across into New England there. We're going to see that snow, and some of it can be a bit heavy. We're going to pick up multiple inches of snow over the interior portions of Pennsylvania and New York this weekend. So again, get ready for more snow across the Northeast, the New England, and into parts of the Great Lakes as well. But however, in the Great Lakes, we won't see quite as much. So much lesser snowfall total there. So that severe weather threat is as follows. Down here across the south central U.S., the Mississippi River Valley, for Louisiana, Arkansas, up the Mississippi River there to parts of southern Missouri as well. So East Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, southern Missouri, parts of Mississippi as well. We're going to see the potential for some severe thunderstorms. So St. Louis down to New Orleans, we're going to see those severe thunderstorms that could produce damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour, and some tornadoes is going to be possible. And don't forget, the heavy rainfall and flash flooding is also going to be forecasted for this region as well. Further to the north, we're going to see much cooler conditions with those temperatures in the 50s, but we're just going to see rain showers across the Ohio Valley and into Michigan. But we'll see snow break out over northern Michigan, Wisconsin, and eastern Minnesota after this storm passes through Saturday and Sunday. Again, another look at that severe weather down across the south, and we're going to see that rain shift to the east Sunday night and into Monday. The severe weather will shift to the east along the Gulf Coast toward the southeastern U.S., and we're going to see those thunderstorms move up toward the mid-Atlantic as well. So that's going to be Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and maybe even into Virginia, where we're going to see the potential there for some severe thunderstorms. But that's going to be more isolated severe than the more concentrated areas of severe weather that we're going to see along the Gulf Coast. Much more significant outbreak is possible along the deep south, but we're going to still see isolated severe over the southeast up to the mid-Atlantic Sunday and into Monday. But that tornado threat will not exist in those regions, but we will see a much more significant tornado threat across the deep south on Saturday and into Sunday. So again, here we are as we take a look at the winds that's going to develop as the storm goes up the eastern seaboard, where we can see gusts up to 50 miles an hour across the southeast up into the mid-Atlantic, and we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms make its way up into New York and the Boston area. We're going to see the heavy rain along the coast with that snow over the interior portions, but we are going to see strong gusty winds as well. So some blowing snow is going to be possible behind that area of low pressure as it moves into New England and into the Northeast. All right, so here again with that snow for the northern tier of the country, where we're going to see those heavier amounts of snow over, again, near Buffalo, New York, and the Syracuse area. So the Adirondacks and western New York, we're going to see those heavier snowfall amounts, and that lake effect influence from the snows will be lake effect enhanced snow. Even though we're going to see snow over a big portion of the Northeast from West Virginia, and through the Appalachian Mountain Range, but however, over parts or near Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, we will see a northwesterly wind come off the lake, so that's going to enhance any snowfall in those regions. So we will see heavier snowfall amounts there as the lake effect enhancement takes shape there, okay? All right, here's a look at where our severe weather is going to concentrate to tomorrow, so Friday and into Saturday. So we got northeastern Texas, eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, extreme northwestern Louisiana. So Shreveport, Little Rock, Tulsa, McAllister, near Dallas, and in those regions, Sulphur Springs, north and east. So in this region right here is where we're going to see that outbreak of severe weather tomorrow. So we're going to have large hail possible on your day on Friday. So large hail will be the primary threat with these severe storms on your Friday. On Saturday, it gets a bit more interesting as we can see a tornado threat across Louisiana eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, western Mississippi, and southwestern Tennessee. So Memphis, all the way down to Houston, we have that potential for severe weather that can produce tornadoes. We still will see a severe weather threat into the western panhandle of Florida. So up as far east as Mobile and Apalachicola, Florida, we can see the potential for some severe weather that's going to produce possibly an isolated tornado. Damaging winds up to 65 miles an hour. Some heavy rain and flash flooding is going to be possible. But in the red is where we have, I think, a much more significant possibility of tornadoes and a concentration of that severe weather with those damaging winds and heavy rain, okay? So, in the Pacific Northwest, we've been dealing with the ills of the atmospheric river that's been leaving copious amounts of rain across the Pacific Northwest pretty much all week. And we have seen record rainfall totals in Seattle, where they picked up 2.39 inches of rain on Tuesday in one day. Record rainfall that blew out any of the previous records. So we're going to continue to see that heavy rain across the Pacific Northwest pretty much for the remainder of the week through Sunday. We're going to continue to see the atmospheric river and storm after storm coming on shore that's going to bring much more in the way of heavy rain, and that's been leading to flooding and things like that. We're also going to see that heavy rain. Look at the rainfall totals that they've seen, they will see through Sunday. This is the rainfall still yet to come, where we see these oranges and reds. That's 3 and maybe up to 8 inches of rain. So still plenty of rainfall to be had in Oregon and parts of Washington here near the Puget Sound. And you can see here in Elliott Bay, we're going to still see more rain, especially more toward the Pacific side along the ocean. And we're going to still see that heavy snow in the Cascades and even down to the Sierra Nevada and California. So we're still going to see that heavy rain and heavy snow falling across the Cascades. Now, as that low came on shore, we're going to see those snow levels drop down to 3,000 feet from the 7,000 or 8,000 feet. So that's going to lower the snow levels. So we're going to start to see heavier snow over the Cascade and the Sierra Nevada. We're going to also see more snow over the northern Rockies as well. So Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah, and Colorado, we're going to see more snow continue into the weekend as we see those temperatures fall to temperatures where it's cold enough to sustain that snow. So we're going to see still a lot of wintry weather out there across the Pacific Northwest. So in Washington, we're going to see that heavy snow continue across the Cascades, where we can still pick up 18 to 24 inches. And that's going to be through Friday, where we're going to see the potential more for 18 to 24 inches as those snow levels drop to 3,000 feet after Wednesday. So since yesterday, now the snow levels have dropped to 3,000 feet. And we're going to see that potential still for 2 feet more of snow to fall across the Cascades. Here is our live radar right now. As we can see, look at that heavy rain coming on shore just northwestern California. We can see a band of heavy rain coming on shore, northwestern California, southwestern Oregon. But you see that plume of moisture extending across Oregon and into Washington. And this is just the rainfall that we're seeing there. And we're going to be seeing that snow in the higher elevations of the Cascade Mountain Range. So this is tremendous. This has been absolutely tremendous. So over the last 2 days, we have seen as much as 8 to 12 inches of rain through parts of the Puget Sound and near Seattle. We've been seeing 5 to 8 inches of rain. So we've been seeing copious amounts of rainfall all around the Pacific Northwest between Oregon and Washington. It's been very, very wet. This atmospheric river, this rain has been non-stop relentless. It's going to continue for the remainder of the week and into the weekend. Conditions will start to improve maybe on Sunday and into Monday. We will see a break in the rain, maybe a shift further to the south into California. That rain will shift, so we'll keep you updated on the future of this round of the atmospheric river, or the Pineapple Express is affectionately known as. So here we are with your Friday high temperatures across the northwestern region, and we're going to see it cold enough for snow. Again, temperatures in the 40s in the Pacific Northwest and along the coastal, so Seattle and Portland down to Medford, those temperatures in the 40s, but a little bit warmer in Northern California, where we're going to still see highs in the 50s across parts of Northern California as well. But those temperatures will be in the 20s to the lower 40s across the interior of the Rockies of Idaho and even over into Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, down through Utah and Nevada. So we're going to still see it very cold out there as that colder air filters in behind our storm system that's departing to the east. So we are seeing record flooding. So this should be updated from near record to record flooding. The swift flood waters caused a widespread inundation. This is from the Snoqualmie River. This is the Snoqualmie River near Carnation, Washington, where we have been seeing that tremendous. I have seen devastating videos of the flooding taking place and just water just rushing everywhere. It's been unbelievable, just unbelievable. And the flooding of the streets in Seattle and Portland, the flooding, the urban and small stream flooding, the rivers just running high, running 60 feet, and that is record flooding. So for this time of the year, December 6th, we saw just tremendous amounts. This just for yesterday, we saw the river crest at 60 feet, and we're going to be seeing that flooding from Fall City through Duval, inundating farms. So we had 56 feet of water there, and then down to 51 feet on the Snoqualmie River, spills over its banks, and it will shallow flooding occur. So we're going to see flooding across the cities and towns along that river. So we're going to see a lot of neighborhoods flooded out. It's been really bad. It's awful. It's just terrible. And it has taken lives. It has, some folks have lost their lives as a result of this flooding. So this is a natural disaster, and it is costing human life and costing property damage as well. So this is not a weak situation that's going on across the Pacific Northwest. So if you're a trucker or if you're traveling and you're having to drive into the Pacific Northwest, if you're on 90 or 84, you're driving up I-5 out of California, please pay attention to the road conditions, weather forecast for this area, because that rain will continue. And again, we're going to see that snow all the way into the Sierra Nevada, all along the Cascades. Look at all of that heavy snow falling across the mountains. I saw a video and photos of the snow across Washington. This is a very heavy, wet snow that's falling across these areas as well. So it's really bad. So we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. So here is the forecast across America today, and we're going to see nice weather in the east, nice dry day, a few snow flurries across parts of the northeast in New York and Pennsylvania, but that's just going to be flurries. And otherwise, it's going to be dry across the eastern half of the U.S. Down here along the south, some tropical moisture as we have our low pressure starting to develop here over Texas, but it's starting to pull up a little bit of warm air advection and moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico, and that is leading to some preliminary showers along the Gulf Coast. So some light showers and maybe some thunder is going to occur today along the immediate Gulf Coast in Louisiana and southeastern Texas, around Houston to maybe Lake Charles, Louisiana. You might see a round of showers and some thunderstorms today. Otherwise, it's going to be partly cloudy to cloudy skies across the south. But in the northern tier of the country, a very nice weather. We've seen a nice warm up out ahead of our developing storm. We have that warm air advection out ahead of our storm. So we're seeing those temperatures in the 50s today as far north as Minneapolis and St. Paul. So we're going to see a warming trend across the east, the eastern U.S. and the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest. We're going to see it warmer there and warmer across the plains. A high of 70 for you in Dallas today, indicative of that warming trend, and at 76 down there in Phoenix. So we are seeing some nice weather through some parts of the country. So it's not good for you. So, but anyway, that 1 or 2 day warming trend is going to be nice today and Friday. But on Saturday, we're going to start to see that snow moving to the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. Temperatures are going to tumble. We're going to drop from those 50s down to the 30s, and we're going to start to see some of that snow. But mind you, that snow is going to be relatively light over the Great Lakes, a little bit heavier over the Northeast and New England through Maine, down through Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York and western Pennsylvania. The snow will probably be about 6 to 8 inches, but if you're in the Great Lakes, maybe 1 to 2 inches. Minneapolis, we expect less than an inch, so very light snow for us. So again, that's your weather forecast and prayers for the folks and thoughts, and pray for the support for the folks in the Northwest that are dealing with that tremendous flooding and the problems with the atmospheric river. We pray for relief from that rainfall. I'm going to keep on top of the weather forecast and keep things up to date here and let you know exactly what to expect and what's going on. So that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching. Leave your likes, comments, and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.